Hi everyone, welcome to Learning by Doing with Praveen Kandan. This is Praveen. In this Java object-oriented programming playlist, we will learn OOPS concepts from the scratch. This is Java OOPS programming session number 27, default constructor versus no argument constructor. If you're confident about learning, then please like the video, subscribe the channel for more update. Please click the bell icon, choose all notification option. Don't choose personalized option, you may miss some session updates. Let's get started. In our previous session, we have discussed about types of constructors. So default constructor in the sense we are not going to give anything. Java will automatically provide this. If you're not giving any constructor in a program, default constructor will be provided by Java. Okay, we'll discuss how it is happening in background. So important thing when no data is used, when no data is required initially, we just have to call it means at the time you can uh, what is that Java will use this default constructor. No data is required initially. Next parameterized constructor means word itself we are passing the data. We are sending the message. We are sending the message. Receiver will receive it. Same concept. Okay, we are passing the data. Most commonly used in industry, this parameterized constructor only. Okay, avoid the empty objects. If you are passing the empty objects, I already told you the consequence. Okay, it is not a proper standard. It will mislead. Okay, it's not a proper standard because it will set with the default values. It's not a right one. Okay, so in industry, best practice they are following always initialize the mandatory fields using the constructor, avoid the empty projects. Constructor plus encapsulation is equal to the production code. This is the proper root standards they are following. Okay, protecting the data and also initializing the data members through the constructor. We'll discuss all these things in the coming slides. Okay, so what's the final summary here events? When a class has multiple data members, initializing them using the separate assignment statement, what is that? A mobile phone dot Redmi mobile that is a brand, mobile phone dot processor, mobile phone dot price. If you're having 10 fields or 20 fields, are you going to declare like this or initialize like this? Definitely it is not a right method. Definitely it's not a right method. Automatically code size will be increased. You may miss some data members also. A constructor also uses initialize the data members or which data members, object data members at the time of object creation itself. It will invoke automatically. If you forget to initialize the values, it will give the error. Okay, so it will ensures the cleaner, safer, and as per the industry standard object design. Okay, this is the key point. When the constructor will be called means at the time of object creation. What's the purpose of calling the constructor? To initialize the object data members. If I forget to initialize it, it will give the error itself. In our previous session, we have discussed this. Please watch that previous session and then attend this session. So what's the type of constructor as per the agenda? Default constructor we have to discuss. I'll tell you, we are not going to give any constructor. Automatically Java will provide it if you're not giving. If you're not giving, automatically Java will provide a default constructor. So there is no parameters. Initialize the objects with the default values, 0, null, and then false. Okay. We'll discuss now. So what's the class name? Mobile phone. Data members are brand and battery. I'm not giving any constructor. What is happening initially? That is what we are discussing with the real-time examples. See here. So these are the class area, this is stack area, this is heap memory object. Okay, this is coming into the heap memory. Okay, I'm deleting these fields. Initially, it is not required for this program. Okay, it looks like this. Am I right? So what's the class name? Mobile phone. So it is in the class area. Data members, brand and battery. Brand and battery. Okay, done. Is there any constructor? No, there is no method. So I'm deleting this also. Okay, deleting this also. There is no local variables. And okay, this is what initially is in the memory empty state. At the time of object creation, it will call the default constructor. New mobile phone means, I'll tell you. So new mobile phone at the time of object creation, default constructor will be called. So at that time, because while using the new mobile phone object creation itself, it will be stored in this heap memory area only. Okay, it will allocate new memory area. That area is called as the heap memory. And where it will be, these objects will be stored means heap memory area. Some memory is allocated here. So we are referring the name. What is that? The Redmi. This is called as a reference variable Vivo. Some memory space is allocated. In that memory space, we are naming that. What is that? Redmi. Here, what is that? We are using phone. Phone means phone is the object name. Object reference variable name. Only one object we have created. Remaining we can delete it also. No issues. Okay. Can cut down this. It's not required for us. Okay. Only this portion is now present. So I'll say a brand and a battery. Okay. It looks like this. So at the time of object creation, okay, only it will get the memory. Just as of now, before object creation, it's just a class area only. The data members are present. Only the data members are present. Got it? After that, object creation only. After that, object creation only, it will get the memory and initialize with the default values. Brand means what is that? String data type. So I'm giving null. Battery means integer. So I'm giving 0. Okay. After this, the default constructor will be called. Okay. So initially the default constructor, after the compilation code only, default constructor will be invoked. So the default constructor, the constructor looks like this. Default constructor mobile phone off. So that name is also a constructor bytecode will be present. Constructor bytecode present. Constructor bytecode. Okay. So after this, okay, it will be invoked here in stack area. The constructor stack created now. Okay, because these all things common, it will be present. So after this, time of due to object creation, mobile phone, the default values. Okay, from a here it will be called. Okay, because you are using what is that? New mobile phone of. Okay, so from here it will be on connection will be there. Okay, new mobile phone of. Okay, this is what happening. So for default constructor is called. Okay, already object created in the heap with the default values are there. Okay, so this default constructor initializing this data members. Okay, so already at the time of object creation, these values are initialized by null and 0. Just referring this new mobile phone means it will just calling this default constructor. Okay, it will have hereafter it have the values like brand as null, battery as 0. Got it? So this is the clear explanation about this. So while you're creating the construct without constructor, the code looks like this: class mobile phone battery and then main functions here. I'll show the example code where it is. Yeah, nothing is done. Okay, I'm not passing anything here. It looks like this. Into So after the compilation, what will happen means Java compiler will create the default constructor class name and then constructor name is same. Super method is invoked here. What is the usage of super method? It will call the immediate parent class. Which one? For all the classes, object class is the root one. So it will call that object value and initialize this brand and battery. And initialize this brand and battery. Literally at the time of object creation only, it will get the values. Okay. So now these values, okay, I'll put one more arrow mark here. because this constructor only initialize this default values to this brand method. Before that it will be empty one. Okay, so this time only these values will get null and zero. At the time of object creation only, we simply in our previous sessions we simply told at the time of object creation objects data members will be initialized with the default values. Now we are getting the proper statement. So constructor will initialize this default values also. Okay, because previously we didn't discuss about constructor, so for that purpose we are telling in abstract way. So at the time of object creation data members will get their default values if you are not giving anything. So now I'm clearly explaining. At the time of object creation constructor will be invoked. Okay, constructor will be invoked, so that constructor will initialize the values. Okay, here I'm not passing any values, so the default value is initialized. So default value is initialized with this constructor. I hope instead of telling a theoretical matter, this picture clearly explains you. Without constructor the source code look like this. After constructor, I mean, after compilation, so Java compiler will create this constructor, default constructor. Who creates this default constructor? Means Java compiler. Okay, Java compiler will add this default constructor and it will give it to the Java virtual machine. Okay, I'll show this example also. Even if I'm not giving this, okay, even if I'm not giving this, and copy the previous code and then try. Okay, if I'm executing this, see here, if I'm executing this, what will happen means I'll open the Java generated class files. Okay, we already know. So zero, null and zero will be printed. Where this file is present means class object demo, mobile phone dot Java. Okay, class object demo, com, and then mobile phone. So now only, please note down time, morning 5:45. Now only this class file is generated. I'm opening this file now. See here, this is the current file, current time it's showing. Okay, February 8 and then 5:45. Now the time is early morning. So now only the class file is created. After the compilation, you can able to see that something is dot init. So this is called as the default constructor. We already told you know. So if you're not giving anything in the source code, what the constructor Java compiler will create a default constructor. This is the proof to you. This init refers the default constructor. This init refers the default constructor. You can't able to understand the bytecode, only JVM can understand and then convert it into a machine understandable code. Okay, this is a bytecode. It will be provided to the JVM. JVM will convert the machine understandable code, zeros and ones. Okay, next, forward to this, we'll discuss about the no argument constructor. I hope this example clearly now explaining what is happening in the background. This is what I explained in a detailed manner in the backup of oops also. So what this happened? Java compiler adds the default constructor during the compilation. Okay, after the compilation, you can see the default constructor is present in that. Okay. JVM load the total class file objects executes the constructor. Okay. JVM is not creating the default constructor. Mark my word, important thing. Java compiler is creating the default constructor. Okay, this is the workflow. So source code written by the developer, no constructor written at this stage, no constructor exists in the source code. Fields are declared but not initialized by the programmer. Okay, because who will initialize it? Through constructor only will initialize it at the time of object creation. Here, compiler checks, Java compiler checks, is there any constructor in this class? No constructor found. Then automatically what will follow? Compiler injects a default constructor. It will add this line. We already displayed in this peak. We'll add this line. Okay, it will check is the if it is not there, it will add it. Okay, it will add it. Java compiler will add this. Okay. So this constructor was not written by the developer. It exists only after the compilation. Java compiler during the compilation will add, but after the compilation only you can able to see this default constructor. It is placed into the dot class file. It is placed into the dot class file. So what the class file contains means meta. What is about the data? That is about metadata. What is about the class means what's the class name, so and so, field names, constructor method is called as a init. So the byte level code will have the keywords like init. You can able to see that here. See here, metadata, class name, and then fields are battery. After that, what we having init. This is the constructor. This is the constructor name. Are you clear? So see here, class metadata, class name, brand, battery. After that, what you having this constructor. So as per the diagram, we having class name, metadata, and then data members, default constructor. This is what we explained in theory also. Class metadata, fields, constructor method init. Okay, so and so. Init method is called as the default constructor created by Java compiler, not by JVM. Please clear this. After that, only we'll load the class that is a generated bytecode dot class will be verified, allocate memory for the object. It will execute the constructor present the class. What happens internal means memory will be allocated in the heap memory. Instance variables get the default value because of that. JVM calls constructor, the only already created by the compiler. Okay, we are not giving anything. So complete responsible for is source code, Java compilation, default constructor will be added, dot class file will be provided to the JVM load class, new object will be created, constructor executed. Important points are no constructor is written, compiler provides one. If no constructor is written, compiler provides one. If any constructor written, compiler will not create any default constructor. Important one. If constructor is already present, compiler will not create default constructor. JVM never creates constructor, it only executes them. That's it. These are the key points. Okay. So now back to that. What's the second topic as per the agenda? No argument constructor. So no argument constructor is very simple. So due to time constraint, I will explain this in the next video because video size is already is increasing. So I'm closing this session now. Okay. If you found the session useful, then like the video, subscribe the channel for more update, and please share it with your friends. Thank you for watching.